Reigning Olympic champion Paris Jepchirchir capped the celebration of a half-century of women in the Boston Marathon with a finish to top them all. The 28-year-old Kenyan won a seesaw sprint down the stretch on Monday, when the world's oldest and most prestigious annual marathon returned to its traditional spring start for the first time since the onset of the coronavirus pandemic. On the 50th anniversary of the first official women's race, Jepchirchir traded places with Ethiopia's Ababaal Yeshana 8 times in the final mile before pulling ahead for good on Boylston Street and finishing in 2 hours, 21 minutes, 1 second. "I was feeling she was strong. I pushed it," said Jepchirchir, who earned $150,000 and the traditional gilded olive wreath to go with her Olympic gold medal and 2021 New York City Marathon title. "I fell behind. But I didn't lose hope." Malindi Elmore of Kelowna, BC, the Canadian women's marathon record holder, was 11th. The 42-year-old's time of 2:27.58 was under the World Championship qualifying standard. Surrey, BC, native Natasha Wodak, who ran alongside Elmore in the women's marathon at the Tokyo Olympics, finished 19th on Monday with a time of 2 hours 35 minutes and 8 seconds. Watch L. Jepchirchir wins Boston Marathon after taking gold in Tokyo. Paris Jepchirchir wins Boston Marathon after taking gold in Tokyo. Duration 1:11. The Kenyan edged Ethiopia's Ababaal Yeshana to win the women's race in a time of 2 hours 21 minutes and 1 second. 1:11. Evans Kibet completed the Kenyan sweep, breaking away from Gabriel Guy with about 4 miles to go to finish in 2 hours 6 minutes and 51 seconds for his first major marathon victory. The 2019 winner Lawrence Carano was second, 30 seconds back, defending champion Benson Kipruto was third, and Guy fell back to fourth. Trevor Hoffbauer was the top Canadian in the men's race, finishing 15th in 2:10.52. The 30-year-old from Calgary dipped under the World Championship entry standard with his finishing time. Daniel Romanchuk of Champaign, Illinois, won his second career wheelchair title in 1 hour 26 minutes and 58 seconds. Switzerland's Manuela Schär won her second straight Boston Crown and 4th overall, finishing in 1 hour 41 minutes and 8 seconds. Sharing a Patriots' Day weekend with the Red Sox home opener, the city's other sporting rite of spring, more than 28,000 runners returned to the streets from Hopkinton to Copley Square 6 months after a smaller and socially distant event that was the only fall race in its 126-year history. Watch L. Kibet claims victory in Boston by 30 seconds. Evans Kibet wins Boston Marathon by 30 seconds. Duration 1:07. The Kenyan cruised to the finish line in a time of 2 hours 6 minutes and 51 seconds on Monday. 1:07. Support for Ukraine. Fans waved Ukrainian flags in support of the runners whose 26.2-mile run Monday was the easiest part of their journey. 44 Ukrainian citizens had registered for the race, only 11 started, and all finished. "I decided to come here and show that Ukrainians are strong, we're fighting, and we hope peace will come soon," said Dmytro Malkhanov, a Ukrainian who lives in New York. "It's really tough, basically, being here while all my family, my friends and Ukrainians are fighting over there for peace in my country, in Europe, and the world overall," said Malkhanov, who finished in 2 hours 39 minutes and 20 seconds. "When it was really tough, I tried not to give up and tried pushing, kind of fight, with myself the way Ukrainians are fighting against Russia right now." Athletes from Russia and Belarus were disinvited in response to the invasion. Ukrainians who were unable to make it to Boston were offered a deferral or refund. "Whatever they want to do, they can do," Boston Athletic Association President Tom Brilk said. "Run this year, run next year. You want a puppy? Whatever. There is no group we want to be more helpful to." Ukrainian Igor Kritsyk holds up his country's flag as he crosses the finish line on Monday. Jepchirchir and Yeshana, who was third in New York last fall, spent most of the morning running shoulder to shoulder, or even closer. Just after the 25-kilometer marker, the Ethiopian's eyes wandered from the course and she drifted into Jepchirchir. Yeshana reached out to apologize, and the two clasped each other's arms as they continued on. "In running, we understand each other and we maybe somebody came and bumps, but it's okay," Jepchirchir said. "It was not rivalism, it was just an accident." Beaten, Yeshana finished 4 seconds back. Kenya's Mary Ngugi finished third for the second time in 6 months, following her podium in October after the 125th race was delayed, cancelled and delayed again. Kenya's Paris Jepchirchir left and Ababaal Yeshana of Ethiopia compete in the 126th Boston Marathon in Brookline, Massachusetts on Monday. About 20 men stayed together, with American CJ Albertson leading for much of the way, before Kibet and Guy broke from the pack coming out of Heartbreak Hill. Kibet pulled away a couple of miles later. "We had communicated earlier, all of us. We wanted to keep running as a group," said Kibet, who finished 4th in London last fall. "I observed that my counterparts were nowhere near me, and that gave me the motivation." This race marked the 50th anniversary of Nina Kusksik's victory in the first official women's race. At Wellesley College, the women's school near the halfway point, the iconic Scream Tunnel was back after the pandemic-induced absence, and louder than ever. One spectator in Wellesley held a sign that read, "50 Years Women Running Boston," along with names of the 8 who broke the gender barrier in 1972. Pioneers returned for celebration. 5 of the original pioneers returned for this year's celebration, including Valerie Rogoshevsk, who finished 6th in 72. She served as the honorary starter for the women's elite field and ran the race with her daughters, who held up banners marking the anniversary as they crossed the finish. Rogoshevsk, who wore bib number 1972, said at the starting line that she had been planning to hide in the bushes and run as a bandit 50 years ago until women got the go-ahead a few weeks before the race. "It's a reminder that we've got it pretty easy," said 2018 winner De Linden, who finished 13th on Monday. 50 years ago, they were breaking barriers and doing the hard part. "It's really not lost on me that there's 126 years of race history here, and we're raw. Ing 50, she said. "But you can't look back, you look forward."